if we need and when we need their assistance, he's there. We have a meeting scheduled for, I think, sometime Friday, and he's there. And FBI and all other federal partners. Just to be clear, HPD Homicide is investigating this case. We're taking lead on it. My goal here again, is not to cast blame on any organization, but update you to some aspects of the investigation. First of all, and most importantly, this is not a City of Houston sanctioned event. It's a Harris County sanctioned event. A lot of talk has been discussed about the original contract. The City of Houston Police Department did not take part of writing that or agreeing to the original contract. Harris County, NRG, and Live Nation participated in that. Saturday, I spoke of some numbers, and someone asked about the previous numbers. Let me give those to you. In 2018, there were 170 officers that worked that event. 2019, we increased to 240. This year, the number was around 530. The investigation into the security of Live Nation, the security personnel, I'm not comfortable with numbers yet what they're giving us. The challenge is you have 3 or 4 security companies, and some of the records are not good. So I'm not comfortable with laying out a number. That's going to be part of the investigation. Questions asked to the roles of law enforcement. As any other event, law enforcement, and on this event, traffic enforcement, our roles, traffic management, securing the perimeter. Big thing and a big challenge was merchandise tents. Very sought after merchandise. That's what caused some of the kids rushing towards that and breaking barriers, breaking down the barriers. The role of Live Nation. They had many roles out there, but one role was to secure what we refer to as mosh pits. There were 2 of them directly in front of the stage. Early stages of our investigation, statements have been revealed to HPD personnel. HPD personnel told necessary personnel of the performance in charge that CPR was underway on 1 or more individuals. They were told that. We communicated that to them. The time and the actions of the personnel in charge of the performance or the production team who received that information, I'm not going to speak to the reasons or the time, and that's a part of the investigation. And we're not here to confirm or deny those accounts. In terms of the security guard that I discussed on Saturday, if you can remember, members of the medical team in the medical tent said that a male security guard had come in and said that somebody had pricked his neck, and we felt that it could have been something ingested. We did locate that security guard. His story is not consistent with that. He says he was struck in his head. He went unconscious. He woke up in the security tent. He says that no one injected drugs in him. So we want to clear that part up. So at this moment, we'll open it up for questions.
Chief Finner, do you anticipate at this point in the investigation that criminal charges will be filed at some point?
I'm not sure, and I'm not comfortable with saying that. I will tell you that we're not going to leave any stones unturned. Let me get back here in the back, and then we'll get you.
For an independent investigation?
Let me get it, and I'll come back to you. Go ahead. Yeah, I had no reason to believe that it wasn't going to be safe, but I'm the kind of chief that I meet with people whenever I can, and that includes him. And we had a very respectful, few-minute conversation on my concerns.
Chief, when
Go ahead.
you talk to him,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
when you talk, my question is, people are asking, I'm sorry, people are asking.
I'll get you. I'll get you. Just 1 second. Y'all calm down. Okay, we'll get you. I'll get you next. Okay.
You've got the,
I'll get you next. Hold up. We got it.
We know you have a relationship with Travis Scott, as do other leaders in the city. Do you think you can fairly investigate this, and do you think there should be an independent?
Let me clarify something. I'm glad you asked that. I'm a 54-year-old man, 32 years on this. I meet a lot of people. I was born and raised in here in Houston. So if somebody's referring to a special relationship, if you call meeting him twice, special relationship, and I'm not being smart, I just want to be open and transparent. That's not a close relationship to me. I've only spoken to him twice. So let's put that to rest. Go,
There should be
when
an
was the
independent
last time you
investigation.
spoke
Next
to
question.
Travis Scott? Chief, when was the last time you
I
spoke
think
to
we're
Travis
good on
Scott
ours.
or his team? And is there a focus of the criminal investigation on anything he did or didn't do?
I'm not going to speak to that. I told you. I told you I met him twice. One time was yeah. No, no, before the concert. The same as my statement. Go ahead, ma'am.
Chief, there have been calls
Yeah.
for an independent investigation by an agency outside of Houston, outside of Harris County. Even the county judge has mentioned she wants an independent investigation. Can you say why you haven't turned things over to DPS, to the Texas Rangers, or to the FBI?
Because I'm really confident in who we are here at HPD, and I think we can do our own investigation. And let's not jump ahead of things. We're only a few days into this, and I'm pretty confident of what our investigators are doing already. So go ahead.
Can you help us understand how exactly the concert came to an end? As you watch the live stream of the concert, it appears that Travis Scott completes his set as he has performed in the weeks ahead of this. How was there no word, or where was the failure in ending this concert?
I don't know, and that's part of the investigation. And I know y'all know everybody's is pretty savvy. You've been looking, and the timelines have moved, and that's why we shouldn't jump ahead of things. Let's just wait. That's part of the investigation, and we can promise you we're going to do a thorough investigation.
Just help us understand, did he end his concert early?
The concert was supposed to leave at I think the original time was what we say is 2300. That's 11 p.m. Okay.
Was there anybody
Yeah.
in his ear at any point? Was
I'm
there
not sure
anybody
that's
in
part of the
his ear?
investigation. Go ahead. Go ahead. Gotcha. Go ahead. I'll come back around. We're investigating anything, any and every aspect of this. And I'm not comfortable saying because we're on the preliminary, very early stages of it. So I owe it, our department owe it to those families, just as I said, to look at every aspect, how, why it happened, okay? In the back here, and I'm going to come back around, y'all. I'll get you. Yeah. Hold up. We're going to get around. Yeah. Go ahead. When you say authority and ability to end the show, we don't hold the plug, okay? But it's always in a plan, and it's always discussion of how that would happen. And that discussion was had we had those discussions, I meant to say, with the promoters. Go ahead.
Chief, you mentioned that HPD officers were in communication with the production staff about the amount of people who needed medical attention. At what time was that?
I'm not going to discuss timelines, okay, right now.
Can you explain
Yeah.
why they didn't go above the production staff, communicate perhaps with HFD to get firefighters?
I'm not going to discuss because I don't have all the facts right now, and it's just premature. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm going to come and get you. Yeah. Go ahead.
Can you just explain who had the ultimate jurisdiction over the event if you were going to end it? Is that you guys?
It has to be a group. The ultimate authority to end a show is with production and the entertainer, okay? And that should be through communication with public safety officials. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll get you in the back. Yeah. Go ahead.
There's been one public report we've seen that perhaps some of the concert goers were suffering medical distress from laced drugs. Do you credit that report? Is that
I don't know, and that's part of our investigation as well. And when I say we're looking at all aspects, we really are. We owe it to them.
So you're not ruling
We really owe it. I'm not ruling anything out at this point. Somebody had a question over here. In the back, I didn't get you. Go ahead. We'll get you. Yeah.
Just follow up on that question on the narcotic side. I know that initially on Saturday you said that there were rumors you have heard about narcotics being used or at least being passed on. Do you have any proof or any confirmation?
No, it's allegations, and I just went over one with our security guard. Okay. Go ahead, right here in the middle.
Yeah, some people have voiced their safety concerns after the people barged into the concert before it even started. Could the concert have been started before it even, or could the concert have been canceled before it even began?
I don't think so. I don't think that's fair to those individuals who paid a lot of money to come in. I think we quickly got that under control. Now, I will tell you, especially people that are familiar with Houston and that layout, it's very challenging to blocks and blocks of fencing. And we knew that was going to be a problem with kids who, I don't know if they can't afford to get in. Those tickets are very pricey. That doesn't give you an excuse to try to jump a fence. But that was a concern. But once they breached, we quickly got that under control, and we didn't have any major injuries. So we went on with the show. Go ahead,
Chief,
and I'll get you on the end there as well. Yeah.
you said it's up to the concert promoters or producers to end the show itself, but who has security jurisdiction over at that point to kind of?
It's always the ranking officer out there. Okay.
So is that
And
county or is it HPD?
no, it's at this time it was HPD officers and other agencies out there, but the highest ranking officer was, and I told you in the statement, we did notify them. Okay. Over here in the corner, we'll come back and get you.
the scale of this investigation, how many concert goers you guys have already interviewed, how many pieces of
I'm not sure, numerous, and hours and hours of video already, and we still have some video to come, so it's very intense, and it's a lot. Go ahead, right here.
Chief, I'm not sure
Ted.
how to interpret your comments about the private security, that you're not confident with their numbers. If I could expand on that.
Yeah.
How confident are you that HPD had the tools it needed out there and had enough cooperation?
That's part of the investigation. It really is. What I wanted to put emphasis on, if I'm not comfortable with the numbers and I with the security company, because some of the records that we presented to us, it's just not good records. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about.
Job they did? I mean, the numbers are one thing. Are you
I'm not gonna point fingers at them. I want us to review the tapes, okay? Because if a tape showing even somebody from my agency doing the wrong thing, you know what? And the most important thing, I'm telling you as chief of police, this is my agency. We're gonna hold people accountable, and I think that the family, we owe that to them, and people have to understand. And that's why we're moving with this investigation and doing the best job that we can do on it. We owe that to them. We owe it to the city, we owe it to our nation, and we need to learn lessons from this.
Chief, on the issue of public safety, just real quick, we know that Mr. Scott has had 2 previous citations for crowd incidents. After this incident, would you support an additional permit being issued for one of his concerts in the future?
That's not my decision to make. That's not my decision to make, and I'm not going to speak on it. I hope, and I'll tell you this, because I never, if it's Mr. Scott or anybody, I don't speak on things that I don't have the authority. I am the police chief. But you know what? I hope that those individuals that are making that decision and how that, they consider all this, okay? We have 8 people dead and 2 in the hospital. Very critical. Let me get back here, and then we'll bump around right quick. Who hadn't answered the question? Let me get y'all too, okay, after him, okay?
Thank you, Chief.
Go ahead.
So we talked to several people who were at the concert, and as this was happening, they described they were in that crowd towards the stage. There was really nowhere for them to go. And we talked to a medic who went in to help, and he described there not being any way for people to get out.
Yeah.
And when they did get out, they said what was happening, and they didn't want to believe, and somebody said something to the effect of it's a mosh pit. What do you expect? Who is accountable for that? And additionally, the fact that this did go on for nearly 40 minutes after the first call of trouble.
I'm not gonna lay fact to that timeline right now, okay? But everybody, again, that's part of the investigation. those who need to be held accountable will be held accountable, okay? Let's go down here on the end.
There are dozens of HPD officers working privately off-duty at the event. There are hundreds of HPD officers who provided security during the event on duty. And the security response in general that involves HPD is part of the investigation. Why is it appropriate for HPD to be leading this investigation as a homicide investigation, or leading it at all?
Why is it not? But I'm saying, why is it not? And then I'm going to follow up with you. We investigate ourselves all the time. But what if we find out that HPD is really not the target? If we do, if somebody did do something wrong, let me tell you something. I'm proud of what we do here in Houston. So I'm not trying to be smart. I'm just trying to be honest with you. Everybody, this independent investigation is this new fashion word, okay? Independent investigation for what? Where are we right now? We're nowhere right now. When we get to somewhere, if I told you, I'm quick to involve our federal partners. And I'm not against the independent investigation when it's warranted. It's not warranted right now, okay? I hope that answers it. Go in the back, because I hadn't got you. Yes, ma'am, right there. Have I got you? These are the last. Let's do 3 more questions, y'all. I'm not going to be able to answer everything today. Can I hear? I can't hear you. I'm sorry. No, ma'am.
Chief, I just have a
Good.
question on that. I know you said you didn't want to talk about the timeline, but there are lawyers or other people who are alleging that the gates were overrun early in the morning, as early as 9:23, based on the radio traffic by Houston Police and Houston Fire, that the fences had been breached as early as 10 a.m. Is that correct? What is your response?
That's part of the investigation. It was hey, wait a minute. Just give me please, okay? That's part of the investigation. That was one breach, and I think we admitted to that, okay? Let me get you, sir. Let me get you up. Ma'am, that's it. That's it, please. Ma'am.
25 people were arrested.
Could you,
They were involved. There were crimes being committed. How come no police officer had the authority to stop it when people had died?
you can go on. You can go on. I'm not going to answer your question, ma'am. You're not the only one in the room. Go ahead, sir.
Given what you
Let's
said
be
about
respectful.
people overrunning merchandise stands, can you tell us what they were after, and if this is some smoking gun indicator to you that perhaps Live Nation and others who you'll investigate had a very cavalier attitude?
I'm not comfortable with speaking to that right now. Let us get through the investigation. Hey, one more. One more. Go ahead. Go ahead.
How do you explain that there were more than 500 HPD officers inside the venue, and yet there was no alert outside that something needed to happen, that this event needed to stop for safety reasons?
I'm not sure that all 500 were in the inside. That was our total officers, and I'm not going to speak specifically to alerts and all that. I can tell you alerts went out. I can tell you that our officers on the perimeter set up egress for HFD, the ambulances and everything, and that's all I can say at this point. But look, one final question. Go ahead. Yep.
To make clear, are you
Yep.
saying that Live Nation executives or higher-up officials within that organization could be held responsible for what is happening?
I'm not saying anything. That's not for me to determine. It's for my agency to conduct the investigation, okay? And that's for attorneys. It could be civil, it could be criminal. I'm just not ready to speak to that right now. We're not there, okay? Thank you. Thank y'all. Thank you. Thank you.
In your remarks, you said you had told someone that CPR was in progress. That is sort of confusing.
It was, and this is the last one. It was one of the officials with the production company who has the, I don't want to speak to this. It's part of the investigation, okay? Yeah. All right. Thank y'all. Thank you.